Hello again, Grizzly football fans. Welcome to another weekly edition of Griz Tracks. I'm AJ Mazzolini here at the Mazzolini.
And I'm Bill Speltz. I cover the Griz football team for the Mazzolini.
There's a big one coming up this Saturday. The Griz head to Eastern Washington for that matchup with the Eagles. A big matchup that everybody's been looking forward to all season long. And the real question is Eastern Washington going to have their quarterback?
Definitely, AJ. That's the big question. Coach Bo Baldwin has said that he's back in practice this week. He hasn't been in practice for 4 weeks. He's not at 100%, so I don't know if the foot is bothering him or whether it's rust. But Coach Baldwin says he's going to decide on Saturday whether to start him or not.
And that's Vernon Adams. There's their record-setting quarterback, a really impressive talent, dual-threat kind of guy who broke his foot about a month ago, and they projected him for 4 to 6 weeks he was going to be out, and we're right at the bottom of that at the 4-week level.
Exactly, and I can remember back when it first happened, talking to Coach Delaney saying, oh, he'll be back for the Griz. And that's what most of the Griz players and coaches, I think they feel like Vernon Adams is going to be in the lineup on Saturday. So I guess we'll see.
I'm sure he had a target on this day for when Montana comes to town. It's always a good rivalry matchup, and that's a way different team with Vernon Adams out of the lineup, as we've kind of seen. The Eagles suffered their first loss while he was gone, and they're, along with Montana, part of this just crazy logjam at the top of the Big Sky Conference standings right now.
Definitely. 6 teams with 1 loss. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, Montana State is playing great football, or they were up until last week when they lost to Cal Poly. Now Cal Poly's on the road against Idaho State. Hard to pick that one the way Idaho State racks up the points and runs the football. So
and bizarre, Idaho State up in the mix. They haven't been there in years. Exactly.
I mean, it's neat for the league that there's so many teams in the running. The balance, it sure makes it fun to go to games week after week.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the Grizzlies, we got 3 weeks left at Eastern Washington game, then Southern Utah, and then finishing with the Cats. Another one of those teams that are all up there at the top. So, I mean, things are really going to shake out in the next 3 weeks, and who knows even where things are going to go.
Exactly, and you have to say that Montana has a tough schedule to finish out. If you're looking at strength of schedule, they're one of the teams that have one of the toughest schedules of the 6 with 1 loss. I would say Cal Poly's got a favorable schedule if they can get past Idaho State. But I don't know how much that matters anyway. It's just whichever team comes out and plays ball. I think there's a lot of even matches.
Yeah, and 2 of those 3 are going to be on the road for the Grizzlies, where they have not played well this year, and everybody knows that story. We're starting with Eastern Washington this week again, but hopefully a little bit of hope really for the Griz with how they bounced back last week against Sac State, a real big home win in Washington Grizzly Stadium.
Definitely, they were real balanced on offense. They ran the football, which is always their first priority. And defensively, they used a zone defense a lot more than I've seen them use this season, and it really worked against Sacramento State with their high-scoring offense. They put up some awful impressive numbers passing and running the football. So if that's any indication, it should be real interesting for that Montana defense against Eastern's offense.
Yeah, definitely. And as you were saying, kind of maybe an indication of hopefully some good things to come, the way they were able to sort of corral Garrett Saffron, the quarterback at Sac State, who's a real talent as well, because they're going to have the Grizzly defense are going to have a lot of real big throwing quarterbacks coming up in the next couple weeks, and so it'll be interesting to see if they can kind of keep that trend going, or if that Grizzly defense will not exactly stand up the way that it has so far this year. Exactly,
AJ. And the 2 X factors are Vernon Adams when he can scramble. You don't draw up a defense for that. They might have somebody watching him at all times, but Vernon Adams, when it's a broken play and he's scrambling. And the other thing is their receiver, Cooper Kupp.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a guy, his grandfather and his father both played pro football. And so he's got the bloodlines, and he's having a great season. He had 11 catches, just a monster game against Montana last year. Really goes up and gets the ball and runs after the catch. So they have to find a way to contain him on Saturday.
Yeah, he's still a young guy, but he's making a name for himself in the FCS level as one of the top receivers in the entire country already.
Definitely. You can almost argue that he's the surest thing to make the NFL ranks that will be playing on Saturday. But there's a couple of them. Obviously, Zach Wagman is one, and some folks think that maybe Vernon Adams has a shot. But that's down the line. Just a lot of talent, a lot of speed. Montana's got some speed on defense. We'll see if they can match up with Eastern.
Yeah, definitely going to be a very exciting matchup this weekend as the Grizzly defense take on maybe Vernon Adams, that record-setting Big Sky quarterback, on Saturday in Cheney, Washington. And be sure to keep up with the Grizzlies with the Mazzolini in print and online at Mazzolini.com all week to get you prepped for game day. And watch our Griz Tracks videos that go up every Thursday night to give you the last little bit of tidbits on the matchup. Thanks for tuning in this week.